I finally found out the truth of my wife's infidelity. Help, hi there. I am new here, and I just wanted to share my story so that maybe I could get some insight on what to do and how to feel at this time. I will try to condense this as much as I can because it is a long story. I have been married to my wife for 5.5 years now, but we have been together for 10 years total. It all started about 3 years ago. I work long hours and am frequently away from home for days on end for work. My wife had a new job, which she got a ton of new attention from the men there that she had never got before. This excited her, and she even told me about how everybody hits on her. Well, most of the member golfers there. For the record, she was a beverage cart lady at a golf course. Anyway, one night she comes home, and I'm already off work, and she is in a panic attack, and she has never had one before. Long story short, I got it out of her that she had cheated on me with one of the member golfers there at her club, who was also married. But all I got out of her was that she had only kissed and made out with the guy. I was stunned and didn't know what to do or think. She assured me that's all they did, nothing else physical at all, and that it would never, ever happen again. She was so sorry, crying and everything. I accepted it, and I eventually dealt with it over time. It was tough, but I got through it, forgiving her and moving on with my life, because it was just a kiss, right? Fast forward 2 years later. Through the course of seeing a couple risque text messages on her phone to the guy she cheated on me with, I decided to confront her and ask her if that's all they did was just kiss that night. After a big fight, long drawn out battle, I eventually got it out of her that she also performed oral sex on him that night. Mind you, that this was 2 freaking years later that she finally told me this. I was horribly devastated, and she was panicking again and swearing to me that she never told me because she didn't want to hurt me. Another long story short. I decided to forgive her again because I loved her dearly and didn't know what else to do at the time. So, fast forward about 6 months after that. Now I had been suspicious this whole time because of what happened before, and so I decided to look at her phone one night when she was sleeping. Luckily, I know all her passwords, so it was easy. I found out a lot of crap that she had been hiding. So many texts and emails to this guy over the course of 3 years or so, a lot of naked pictures back and forth, and one particular email alluding to the fact that they actually had sex, and he was reminiscing about it to her. When I saw this, I woke her, a #% up in the middle of the night to confront her about it. She freaked out and we had another explosion, fight. Then she admitted to me that they had sex the first time that she told me, but withheld that part of it from me because she was so devastated that she did not want to hurt me. Again, I was screwed up and I was so furious that she did not tell me the first time that she lied and only said she kissed him. So after that whole thing, a couple weeks went by and I had been dealing with this crap, not very well. And so I decided to confront her again because I still was not convinced that she was not being truthful to me about everything. So I asked her if she had told me absolutely everything. And of course, I got it out of her that about a year ago, she had had another slip up with this same guy and gave him oral sex in his truck, and he returned the favor and did the same for her. That was about it. I was so mad that I almost passed out, and I told her I was leaving, and she begged, and I ended up not leaving her. I know, most people will say that I'm freaking stupid for not leaving her, but I love her, and I want to make it work. What most of you don't know is the dynamics of everything that goes into our relationship that I cannot possibly explain on here. She is a very good woman and actually has a great heart. She says she got seduced by this guy and it was such a thrill that she got addicted, and she admitted it to me. She knows now that I'm serious and will leave her at the drop of a hat if I find even one more text to this guy. The problem is, I feel that it is partly my fault as I understand how she feels somewhat. I was kind of unfaithful before we got married, but All I did was make out with the girl at my bachelor party of all places, and she took it really hard. I mean, she almost put off the wedding. But that's all I did. I learned my lesson and would not have been able to get married if I had gone as far as her and had sex with this woman. So, I really think that's why I've given her so many chances. But damn, enough is freaking enough. And I am so hurt that I cannot get the images of her having sex with another man out of my head. It's literally tearing me apart. And what I would like to know is, are there any of you out there with a similar story that you were able to rebuild your marriage? And if so, how were you even possibly able to do so? Because right now, I don't know how I'm going to get this out of my head. And I probably need counseling, I'm sure. But any help would be appreciated. Thank you for reading. Let's see comments. She has been cheating on you for the past 3 years. Don't rug sweep this affair. How old are you and how old is your wife? Do you have any children? Let me get this straight. She admitted to giving this guy oral. She's been sending him naked pictures. He's a member of the golf club she works at. You travel, gone days at a time. It started 3 years ago, and you don't think they've been having sex. She told you she kissed him. You knew it was more, but took her back. Then you found out that she had oral sex with him. Yawn. You took her back. Now she's telling you they had another event and went back to the old standby. It was just oral sex. Surely you don't believe that crap and know they've been having sex for a while now. You think she is so wonderful because you have placed her on a pedestal, and now you've convinced yourself this was your fault. Only question is, how much longer and how much more does she need to do in order for you to see your wife as a cheating, attention-starved liar? If you need to hear her having sex with the guy before you've had enough, put a VR under her car seat. I'm very sorry, but the only thing to do is to send her packing, or settle for a cheating wife that lies a lot. Yes, there are many similar stories. Go to the Coping with Infidelity section and start reading. You'll see a lot of this there. You'll also find a lot of advice and will be able to see where it gets people. If you get your post count up enough, you can move this to the private section and read threads in there that you cannot otherwise see. The threads on infidelity in the private members section are the most comprehensive and helpful. Most of the people that post on this forum have experienced infidelity. Yes, there are many similar stories. Go to the Coping with Infidelity section and start reading. You'll see a lot of this there. You'll also find a lot of advice and will be able to see where it gets people. If you get your post count up enough, you can move this to the private section and read threads in there that you cannot otherwise see. The threads on infidelity in the private members section are the most comprehensive and helpful. Most of the people that post on this forum have experienced infidelity. Blah, 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 blah. The dynamics of your special and unique relationship that you think you have, your sweet, good-hearted, blah, 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 blah. Wife is irrelevant. Want to know how I know that? Because none of it kept her from freaking this guy for the past 3 years, much less lying to you about it the entire time. And you've allowed it to continue. You catch her in an affair, some dude from the country club. Do you demand that she cut contact and quit her job? Nope. You find out years later that she's still involved, the guy. Do you demand that she cut contact and quit her job? Nope. And now you've discovered yet again that she's still involved, this guy. Have you demanded that she cut contact and quit her job yet? If not, when does that happen? And let me guess, you've not exposed the affair to this guy's wife, right? Sorry, but I don't see how any self-respecting person could continue in this marriage, especially given all of the rug sweeping that you've been doing since D-Day 1. First off, let me tell you how sorry that you're here. Second thing is to be glad you're here because the way you've been handling your wife's affair, you will soon be checking yourself into a nut ward. The title of this thread, Found Out the Truth of My Wife's Infidelity Help. I don't think that's true. Found out about the affair but 2 years ago, and you told her to stop. Well, you found out later she didn't. Then you rug sweep the affair. She continued on the whole time, by the way. You don't believe that, right? Maybe someday you will find out the whole truth, but the way you've been handling this so far, I doubt it. Do yourself a favor and listen to what these good people have to say, and do your best follow their suggestions. You'll soon find out everyone here has been through the same hell you are going through right now. If you're not okay with sharing your wife, if you're not okay with sharing your wife with other men, put a stop to it now.